I'm going to show you how to strip literally everything, including the glass, out of your doors on your old Datsun. Keep watching. What's going on, guys? Back in the garage today. I'm Brian with Block Garage, and I got a little bit something different for you guys today. We're going to be taking everything out of the door from my 280Z. I'll show you everything, all the steps to get everything out without breaking the glass or anything, so that you can do it with confidence. And the reason we're doing this is because I have to put the doors back on because we're repairing the fenders, and I want to use the doors to line everything up. I've put those doors back on and off a couple times, and I'm sick of doing it with all that extra weight in there. It has to come out anyway so we can fully clean the doors and paint them and everything. So I figured we'd just get it done now. As you can see, I'm part of the way through this fender here, going along good, and I ran out of welding wire. So I have no way of getting any wire today, so I figured do something a little different, still get a video out, still make progress on the car, and this is something that's got to be done anyway. So back over here on the door, I haven't taken anything out. Everything is still exactly like it was when I got the car and when we blew the car apart to get all the work done. So yeah, let's jump right into it. So the first thing we're going to want to do is remove this chrome trim at the bottom of the window opening. It just pops up off. It should come fairly easy. If you need to get in here on the back side with a screwdriver, you can, and just gently pry up. You should be able to just get in here and work it up though, and it should pop right off. The next thing we're going to want to do is take this window frame off. It actually comes off quite easily, so I need to flip the door back around because there's bolts on the other side. We've got a handful of 10mm bolts to take off. You got one right here, a couple right here, these two down here even. You got this one here, and you got two more here, and they're all 10mm. Then in theory, that should just come right up out. Now, I have seen where if you're just replacing the glass, you can get away without taking this out if you're worried about scratching it or your paint or anything like that. But it comes out easy. Make sure you are labeling where all your bolts came from. That way you don't get confused later when you're trying to put it back together. Or at least stick them back in the holes where they came out of if you can do that. But I prefer labeling them, especially for a long project like this. So the next step we're going to do is actually get the glass out. So if this is as far as you need to go, just removing the glass, this is your last step. There are 4 screws that hold the frame that the glass is actually set in to the track mechanism. So we just need to pop those out. And if we go up here, you can get 3 of them here. So we'll pop those out real quick. And we'll put our window back down, almost all the way. And the 4th one is right here. Now, you shouldn't have any trouble with the glass dropping, but just hold on to it on the top just in case. Now our glass is free. I've got it set just on top of that rail just so it can't fall right now. Now we just need to slide the glass up and out. It might slide out perfectly right now, but you might have to mess around with the sliders a little bit to get it to actually come out. Let's see how lucky we get here. So the back side is coming out fine. This right here is what rides in the slider, where the windows goes up and down. Hey, Rocco. Up here we're hitting. That little plastic piece that slides up and down on is actually hitting on the door frame. If you can see, it's hitting right there. I had the same problem with the other door, and it's a very simple solution to fix. So these nuts right here, these big 17mm nuts, are what hold the slide to the door frame. So what we're going to do is loosen these up. Keep them on there though, and that will allow our slide to move away from the frame. So when we come up here, we should be able to just slide that right up and out. There we go. That's your window. See, it's got this metal frame down here at the bottom. This is what you're actually unbolting. These little pieces right here are what slide up and down in the slides. And this is where that mechanism to roll the window up and down was screwed in place right here. So honestly, getting your window out, very simple if that's something you have to do. Something that yours might not have is this blue piece right here. This is an aftermarket electronic door lock actuator. It is not factory. It was added in by somebody years and years ago. Apparently it was decently common for companies to do back then, but it's just clamped onto the linkage right here, and there's a couple screws, and then it had some wires that ran out the door. But I gotta pop this out now because it's in the way of getting our rear window slide out. See, it's just a little 2-wire solenoid. Give power to it, it pulls down, would lock that. Again, yours probably doesn't have it, but it might. The next thing we want to do is to get our rear slide out. It's just 3 of those 17 millimeter. The next thing we want to do is get our rear slide out for the glass. It's just 3 17 millimeter nuts, 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom. And you do want to take the rear slide out first because there's a big opening up top here that you can only get the slides out. You're going to have to bring the front slide back here to get it out. Now we can pop the front slide out. Now we want to take our window crank mechanism out. If you've never taken one of these door handles out, they're actually pretty easy. There's just a little spring clip in the back that you hook with a 90-degree pick and they'll pop right off. So you get behind here, find where the opening is, and gently pull so it doesn't go flying across the room. That is what they look like, just a little kind of horseshoe shape. And that pops off. So all that does is it pushes in here. Like, there's 2 little slots, if you can see. There's 2 little slots here for that to ride into. And that just pops on there. Like that. So when you push it on here, those parts that are on the inside clip right on there, and then you can't pop off. It's a pretty simple design. Now we just need to pop off these 4 screws and these 2 bolts. And that's what that looks like. So I was sitting in there just like that. You crank this and it turns this part up or down. Now we want to take our door lock off. The cylinder's right here, and that is just held on by a little spring clip right there. Just take your pry bar or a big screwdriver and gently pry off to the side. And it'll come right out. And then just push it out the back side. And that's all it is. Next thing we're going to do is pop off our door handle and linkage right here. And what we want to start with first is over here. This is a pivot point where the linkage connects to more linkage to go up to the latch. We want to pop that 10mm bolt out of there. And the reason we want to do that is, it might be hard for you guys to see, but there's a plastic piece right here that holds this linkage to that little bracket right there, and we need to rotate that up and out of the way. Get that up out of the way, then that linkage should just pop right out of there. Should. There we go. Then we just got 4 10mm nuts over here. You don't need to disconnect the handle from this little bracket because you're taking the whole thing off. That all comes out of there just like that. Now we want to get our latch out. We got another little piece up here we got to take off. This goes to the door lock. Now on the back side here, that latch is actually just held in with 3 Phillips screws. Now that latch should just pop right out. And that's what everything looks like. This is that little plastic piece that we had to rotate out of the way. So it just kind of snaps down over that rod for the door handle. And there is a little rubber gasket seal piece that goes between the latch and the door frame right here. Sits on the inside. You probably want to keep that if you can't get a new one. Last step is 2 little 8mm nuts that hold our door handle on. Make sure you don't drop this little strengthening piece that goes on the back side. There we go, guys. It was honestly a pretty easy process. If you're nervous about it at all, don't be. Just go ahead and get the stuff out. If you need to replace that glass, like I showed you, it's like 2 or 3 steps and you get the glass out. It's very, very simple if you ever have to do any of this stuff. If you're doing a resto on your car, you're definitely going to want to pull this stuff out so you can properly prep the door and everything and don't have all that stuff in the way. This wasn't my intended video for the week. Like I showed you before, I was working on the fender, getting it all good. It's looking really good right now. But I ran out of welding wire. It's not much I can do. I can't get any today. I'm going to have to get some this week and we'll get back on it and I'll get it on the next video. I apologize, this video is probably shorter than the other ones for you guys that are following along with the project. I promise you the next video we'll get right back to the welding and sheet metal repair and rust repair and all that stuff like we've been doing. Get those fenders all finished up and back to the stuff that you guys have been following right along with the videos for. I appreciate everybody watching. Like I said, very simple process. If you need to change your glass, you need to strip your doors out on these 280Zs. And when you're ready to put it back together, you can just reverse the process. Super simple. But I'm going to end the video off here. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Go pick up some merch, and I'll see you guys in the next video.